Salute Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing. Tonight, the Knicks pulverise the Raptors 139-125 in a blowout victory as the Knicks continue to roll. 4 straight now, 19-10 on the season, and the Knicks catching up to the Boston Celtics, who took a loss today to the Magic. Big time game from the team tonight, 35 assists, 7 players in double digits, and let's give out the game balls with this one, fam, as we shout everyone out. Festive vibes in this one. Knicks Nation, salute to the chat, salute replay squad, let's get it. The squad showed out tonight again at MSG, return home to face RJ Barrett in this one, Scotty Barnes, and the short-handed Raptors without Emmanuel Quickly tonight. But the Knicks, man, this one was extended garbage time, despite some of the starters remaining in close to the end. But like I said, the three-point shooting continues to be elite, and the Knicks defense is moving up. 13th in the NBA right now in defense. So, and 14-4 over the last 18 games. Ladies and gentlemen, you love to see that. The Knicks standing on business against these inferior opponents. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more tests to come. We're going to preview the month of January and what awaits the Knicks in the turn of the new year. But of course, we've got the big Christmas Day clash against the Spurs. I'm looking forward to that, man. And I'm wishing everyone a feel-good vibe, festive vibe, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays to everyone out here. Great to be with you. Salute to Paula, Ernest, Buzzer Beater, Shez V in the building already as the chat piles through tonight. Let's give out these game balls, fam. And Cat was aggressive. Obviously, they didn't have the size. No Jakob Poeltl tonight as well. But I thought Deuce McBride was excellent setting the tone in that first quarter, man. The Deuce got loose, as you see, for a couple of pull-up threes. And that's what catapulted the Knicks to go on with this one. It was basically a 20 to 30 point game for the most part, right up until the very end, as the Raptors didn't quit. They kept playing hard. We got to see Landry Shamet in his first minutes as a Knick very late in the fourth as well. Tyler Colette got in, and so did Jake Toppin as well. And we're going to shout out those G League Knicks for their triumph in the G League Showcase as well, winning the final yesterday and back-to-back champions in the G League Showcase. But James, what's up? Hope everyone's doing well, man. Many blessings out here. Let's look at the numbers, the team stats. Let's shout out the team first. 35 assists as well as a team. Brunson, a really quiet scoring night, but he was moving the rock as always. 7 dimes in this one. Obviously 31 points from OG Anunoby was the highlight. He's going to get a game ball. Karl Anthony Towns as well, man. Quiet work, 31 points with 10 rebounds as well, fam, as well. As we look at some of the highlight plays as the chat piles through tonight. Salute Knicks Nation. Smash that like button. Right. The 4th longest double-double streak now in Knicks history, as we see Cat climb the ladder up, passing the captain, Patrick Ewing, man. Now Cat is in 4th place with 18 games straight of a double-double streak, fam. Closing in on Jerry Lucas's 21 games, David Lee with 24, and Walt Bellamy at the top with 44 as well, man. Can Cat keep this streak rolling right now as the Knicks continue their streak of 4 in a row, fam? We've got Will Salkin in the building. Paulus's championship win for the Dub Knicks. And we saw Joel Embiid get tossed tonight as well. I look forward to chopping up the rest of the league as well. Ernest is in the building. What's up, too? Let's get it, guys. OG Anunoby. Great game tonight. Game ball. A+ for me. He set the tone. Getting on the floor, scoring at will. The offense was dynamite tonight from OG Anunoby, right? He tied the record at one point of 11 of 11. He hadn't missed until he missed his first bucket in this one. But OG Anunoby was phenomenal. Defensively, offensively, he's just a two-way demon there, getting to the paint, thriving with contact as well. And against his former team, OG Anunoby definitely wanted to show out in this one as well. We'll talk a bit about RJ Barrett and what his night looked like tonight, but the two players in the trade that came from the Raptors, OG and Precious Achiuwa, had really solid games as well. We'll talk about the bench after the starters, but OG, I mean, look at those numbers. Unbelievable. All-star numbers, man. That's all NBA numbers right there. 33 minutes, 13 of 15, 4 of 6 from deep as well. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 31 points, and a team high 25 in the plus. OG Anunoby, man, the plus minus king as well. As I've got a stat for you all as well, and the clock keeps ticking on the plus minus with OG with the squad. 39 and 13 now. 39 wins, 13 losses with OG Anunoby in the lineup, man. It's fair to say that trade was a huge success, obviously, and we wish former Knicks well. Obviously, RJ Barrett's starting to really find his groove with the Raptors and in his home environment as well. So, but for the pieces that we got in the trade, OG Anunoby's just been absolutely phenomenal tonight. I think this was his best game of the season, which is saying a lot too, as well. Much love to the chat. I see you, fam. We've got a super chat from James Baker. Happy holidays to you and all. I appreciate you, fam. Greatest success in year 2025. Salute to you, James, and family, and many blessings to you. And let's go, Knicks. I can't wait to ring in the new year with you all. And obviously, Christmas Day game is going to be amazing as well. And next year, obviously, we're going to go for this championship, right? We're building, and we're building right now. We're up to 13th in defense around the NBA, fam, as well. So Tom Thibodeau is really starting to get our defense up a notch, and salute to our players for really stepping up. Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart was phenomenal as well. Deuce McBride, a signature defensive performance as well. But what did you guys think of Cam Payne's game? Right, I mentioned Deuce McBride set the tone early in the first quarter, but Cameron Payne in that second quarter was unbelievable, and he helped the Knicks get a huge lead. And Cameron Payne was, basically vintage 6-man type performance tonight from Cam Payne. Yeah, Sandman, it was a bit of a letdown fourth quarter. I think, no doubt, I think the Knicks had, quietly given up on the ball game, and the Raptors were still trying to play hard as well. And yeah, Tom Thibodeau's not going to be pleased about that. I think he'll, be talking to his club about not getting sloppy, playing until the final whistle. But I do think a win is a win, and obviously it's really important we continue this streak and beat down these teams now. 9 games above 500. The month of January is going to get tougher, although it is a very, very heavy home schedule. For those that don't know, we play a lot of games at home in January, and against tougher teams, but a great chance to build and surge ahead, fam. We're only 3 games off the Boston Celtics now, basically with Boston losing tonight as well. Like Drew says in the building, what's up, Troy? Great Knicks win. They came to work and took care of business. Yeah, the first half was vintage from Cameron Payne and Deuce McBride. Brunson, believe it or not, didn't score his first bucket until late in the second quarter as well, right? Had some struggles at the free throw line, 4 of 8 from JB, but 7 dimes, but 3 turnovers. The Knicks had 14 team turnovers, so yeah, we definitely could have won by more than 25 and 30 tonight. But the work was done a lot early, and thankfully some guys got to sit, right? Here are some of the highlights from Cam Payne as we talk about OG Anunoby and his standout performance, man. I think he's been the second, third best Knick, I think. It's probably close between him and Josh Hart, but I do think obviously Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby, have been really, really solid this season. And obviously Cat, I think he's been the best Knick so far this season for the team, rebounding at an elite level, doubling down on what he's great at, but also making a name for himself with a new team. I think he's getting a whole heap of new fans. Karl Anthony Towns, he didn't have this level of hype playing for Minnesota. I think that's a fact. There's even people now appreciating him a lot more and what he's, doing, right? The 3-point shooting, he hasn't really fallen in love with the 3-point shot. Has Cat? He's been doing work down low. Only 3 attempts from distance tonight, but 8 of 10 from the free throw and 10 rebounds as well. And super efficient, 73%. 11 of 15 was Cat tonight. I mean, is that the most effortless 31 points you'll ever see from OG and Cat? Right. They don't go isolation. They don't hog the ball. They don't dribble 100 times. They just get their points real efficient within the flow of the offense as well. They make quick decisions and they make everyone better around them right there as well. So yeah, we're going to talk about the Spurs game coming up, Sandman, and I think that's going to be a lot closer. Obviously, Wembanyama is going to be a real challenge for Cat in that one. But with Karl Anthony Towns 31 points tonight on efficiency, right, amazing game from the big bodega, and he's going to get also the same grade as OG Anunoby, A+ for that. I'll keep it to 1 game ball because I do think OG was the bigger standout in this one, but I think Karl Anthony Towns is a guy who could definitely deserve a game ball, but a really quite efficient night. And the way he scored and the way he did what he needed to do in this one. Troy says could have easily been a trap game with the holidays coming, anticipating the big one on Christmas Day. Yeah, with the Spurs. Yeah, I was thinking that the same thing during the game. Great minds think alike. I was thinking that tonight this one was the Raptors Christmas Day game. That this is the closest that they're going to get to even sniffing a Christmas Day game for the Raptors. So they were up for it, and the Knicks took their best punch. And I guess there's a bit of truth to the Knicks having a softer schedule. That there's a lot of truth to that, but there's also some appreciation that needs to be had for the Knicks just handling their business, because this is the NBA, and any letdown and teams can get a jump on you as well, as we saw against the Pelicans, right, in that one. But I mean, we're at the first stage of the season now where I'm like, okay, 19 and 10, this is exactly where I expected the Knicks to be. So that slower start and some, bumps along the way early, that's in the review for me right now. This is a kind of where I expected the Knicks to be, 20 and 10, 10 games above 500 early, and let's now go on with it. Let's now, take our play to the next level, continue this consistency, fam, as well. As I just repeat, the Knicks are now 14 and 4 in the last 18 games, which is exceptional. And the Knicks are 9 and 1 in their last 10, 39 and 13 with OG in the lineups as well. And the defense is now up to league 13th. So making strides with that one. Michael Drake's in the house. Salute to you, and salute to your family, and many blessings to come for this holiday season. Cat, OG, been a huge tick on this season. I think their play has really gone to another level. Right. Now, next up, let's talk about Mikal Bridges. Right. Another night, 40 minutes tonight, 5 of 10 and 4 of 8 from 3-point land, 4 boards, 14 points, and 1 steal and a +1, 1 rebound as well. So let me highlight the rebounds, because I know a lot of you wise folks in the chat, in the comments, have been talking about Bridges, hoping to see his rebounding numbers improve. And I agree. I think he's a guy that can get on the glass a bit more. But step by step, the pleasing thing with Bridges right now, we're seeing an improved defensive effort, much improved. He's fighting over screens quicker. He's shuffling his feet and rotating quick, and he's really making the opponent feel him on defense. Right. Tonight he was guarding Scotty Barnes on many possessions, and I thought he did a really solid job early when the game was tight. And so obviously the 3-point shooting as well, 4 of 8, amazing, 50%. That's the Bridges that we signed up for, guys, ladies and gentlemen. That's the guy that we signed for and traded for, and we're getting it right now. We're getting the full version of wing stop, right? So that's a huge tick. Can we get a thumbs up for that? Mark, salute, appreciate you. Great comment. Jimmy, what's up? Great dub. Embiid went off. Yep, definitely in this one. Michael gives Cat an A plus and OG an A plus too. And yeah, Sandman says Mikal had that tough assignment on guarding Scotty Barnes at times. Yeah, he showed, he was a man tonight. Did Bridges with, that defensive assignment, and that's great because we're gonna need him to do that in the postseason. Guard the opponent's best players. OG, I still feel like Tibbs wants to keep OG as that, help defender and a guy that can, cheat off of his man and get in the passing lanes and get strips. Also be a secondary rim protector as well. So, and obviously OG is a bigger man, so it's tough to be out on the perimeter on those smaller dudes. But that's Bridges' job. Bridges' job is going to be from now on is slowing down the best, opponent on the other team, whether it be on the perimeter or helping out as well. 5 of 10 efficient, 14 points, 18 points last game as well. So really solid performance from Bridges. Last game was better, but this one was better defensively, I felt, checking on Scotty Barnes. So with that said, I'm going to give Mikal an A minus for this one. So we've got straight A's coming through right now from our New York Knicks. Let's talk about Hart next up tonight, fam. We're all buzzing, smashing that like button. Johnny says salutations, incredibly smart ball, passing and dimes immaculate as the vibes tonight. Great rhymes. Buzzer says OGA plus the game ball, a beautiful game. Yeah, the game looks easy sometimes, doesn't it, Buzzer, with guys like OG, 35 assists from the team as well. I mean, no one's hogging the offense, no one's hijacking it. And it's just I think 5 guys that are really having fun out there, really enjoying playing with each other. And yeah, they can get a little sloppy at some points to the detriment of, the lead. They can, start to get a little too creative and, get in their bags, even more. No look passes, bounce passes, cross court passes as well. We saw a lot of shot clock violations as well. So I think the focus does need to tighten up a little bit, late in these ball games. But hey, they're human, and when you've been blowing teams out, you're 4 in a row now. And sometimes it just starts to feel too easy, right? So can we get some tough opponents up in here ASAP, right? And the Spurs, yeah, I think that's going to be a really good game. Wemby, they're going to come in. They haven't played Christmas Day for a minute. Michael says great win, and Captain Brunson had a night off and didn't have to score as much. I think that's another pleasing element. Yeah, I think Brunson bailed us out against the Pels, and then tonight we see a Brunson that just needs to play his role as the point guard and get everyone going with that. So A minus for Bridges, A plus for OG, A plus for Cat as well. Now Josh Hart, 3 of 6. Obviously Landry, Shamet. Now the big news yesterday coming in, I think that's directly related to the wing situation and the guards. Shamet now on the squad, which is great news. I like the signing. I'll give it a B plus. And obviously Matt Ryan got waived. Now that could mean that Hart is going to, have more rest tonight. He only played 30 minutes. It was a blowout, but obviously in a tight game, I think you could squeeze Landry, Shamet in there, and I do think Tibbs is going to go to a 9-man rotation as well. So I'm super happy with that. I really am. Hart went 4 of 4 from the free throw, 50% from the field, and he got 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 11 points, and was a plus 16 in this one. So, basically playing his role, and I think Hart was, the connector in this one. 4 assists was big, but the tempo, the guy to scramble on defense, hustle plays, and 11 points on efficiency is a tidy night from J Hart. So with that, I'm going to give Hart his grade. Let's ring that up, dial it up now. Hart will get a B plus for me tonight. I thought it was a really solid effort. Yeah, Cat did foul out. We have to mention that. Sandman's given the A minus, Hart a B. Salute for that. Matt Ryan might come back on the two-way. That's nothing to be confirmed yet. However, yeah, Matt Ryan was waived, and we'll see what happens when the Knicks can make more decisions when Mitch gets healthy. The trade season's coming up, and also on March 2nd, the Knicks can sign a 15th player as well. So they might even bring Matt Ryan back on March 2nd as well. Next up, let's hear from Michael Parker. Salute. Great to see you and appreciate you for the contribution. Says, salute Knicks Nation. This OG trade continues to pay dividends. You can tell RJ is always going to try to show the Knicks made a mistake in trading him. Great point, man. I think, yeah, RJ has got a really bright future ahead. I think he needed a new environment. I think the fit with Randall and Brunson, was basically a situation where the Knicks needed more of a defensive-minded player like an OG Anunoby, and I think both players are really thriving in their new environment. Like you said, I think the OG trade continues to pay dividends. 39 and 13 is incredible in terms of a payoff, and it's paying in dividends big time with that. OG continues to impress me offensively. His ability to drive, get to the cup, take contact and finish is underrated. He can really finish in traffic. And that's a tough skill that not a lot of people talk about, finishing in traffic. Obviously, his size, his frame, his strength is a true credit to him, for staying in that weight room. Well, and his agility as well. He's got really good hands down low as well. Paula gives Hard a B. Salute for that. OG A+++ from Sandman too. And Michael says, yeah, we need to play a good team to show what we can do even more, fam. Yeah, I love those gritty wins against good teams. And I think, yeah, plenty is yet to come, fam. Obviously, December, we'll take a quick look. We've got the Spurs, Orlando, Washington, and then Washington, right? That you see on screen down below. Now, I'm just going to bring up January right now. We take a look at that real quick. Right. Look at how heavy the home schedule is, fam, as the blue represents the home games, orange is the away games, right? So let's take a quick look at that, man, because that is absolutely huge. Right, we've got Utah to ring in the new year, and then OKC Chicago away, and then a 5-game homestand. Orlando, Raptors again, Oklahoma, Milwaukee, Detroit. We've got Philly away, Minnesota and Atlanta at home, Brooklyn at home, and then Sac, Memphis, and Denver at home as well. I mean, that is a crazy schedule. Some tougher games, but they are all mostly at home. So that is going to be a huge month, man. That could set the Knicks season up, right? Home cooking, so to speak, in that one. Give us your thoughts on the January schedule, fam. We're going to be buzzing for that. Felix gives the game ball to OG Anunoby. Great to see you, Felix. And Jazzman says, keep chiming away. Let's go. Absolutely, indeed. Let's go. I think tonight shows the versatility of our squad, guys, because, Brunson didn't even need to have it going. And who even cares? Because I don't hear anyone really talking about a quieter night from JB. Because look at those A's from the rest of the guys, man. Are we the deepest starting 5 in the NBA? Top 3, top 5? Let me know. I think we are probably in the top 3 conversation for starting 5s in the NBA. Maybe behind Oklahoma, maybe behind Boston. But we can certainly match firepower for firepower in that one, right? As our defense is now up to league 13th, right? And once again, salute Michael and salute to James for the super chat contributions. You guys are legends in the streets of buzzing. Great game from OG. Yeah, it was amazing. He was all over the place in this one. And it's good to see him get his offense back going, because he did get into a little bit of a funk after having a hot tear, but he's back. Now, the captain, 32 minutes tonight, which is really pleasing. Didn't need to play too many minutes. was 4 of 8 from the free throw. So you know he's going to be really down on that. And 0 of 5 from distance. Brunson was just not in a rhythm. But 7 dimes, had 2 steals, including stripping RJ on that one. It was a really savvy play. 12 points plus 8. And finished with 6 personal fouls as well as Cat. Obviously late, 3 turnovers. But the 2 steals, 7 dimes is the positive. But obviously the inefficiency tonight wasn't really hurtful for the Knicks. He was still steady as the point guard, getting the ball moving, but got to clean up on those turnovers and the missed free throws. So let's pull up the grade for JB tonight, and let's talk about campaign and Deuce McBride off the bench. Got a 7 dimes and 2 steals in a team win, so not going to go too hard on the cap, but C plus for tonight, man. Obviously, we know he's much capable of better, but when the teammates are thriving, I think they had his back tonight. The big acquisition, Michael, of Landry Shamet is going to give us a lot more weapons off the bench, I feel, with Precious Achiuwa starting to play in rhythm. And we're going to talk about his 3-pointer again tonight. He hit the 3, and Precious Achiuwa had a really solid night as well in his return against his former team. But yeah, Precious has been solid since he returned, and I really like his game. Obviously, Jericho Sims, he's keeping him out of the rotation now. So the Knicks have got more bodies. Tyler Kolek deserving some minutes as well. Let's talk about Tibbs. Let's give Tibbs a grade because he was hard until the very end, getting on the team for sloppiness, keeping up the standards, which is really important for this coach. I think this team, the biggest Achilles for this team could be, getting ahead of itself at times and, looking down on certain opponents. So I think it's important that Tibbs, throughout the rest of the season, just keeps these guys in check, keeps them humble, keep the minutes allocated, spread the minutes around and keep everybody fresh. I think for the postseason, that's my wish, fam, for Christmas. And just keep these guys humbled. And obviously, we've got more bodies that can back up guys. So if they're not performing, bring the next guy in and give him a chance. So I'm going to give Tibbs a grade for today. He gets a B in this one, fam. Little scrappy start, sloppy in the first quarter, second quarter and third quarter amazing, and then the team let go of the rope a bit in that fourth quarter. But there were some standouts off the bench tonight, fam. Precious Achiuwa gets the B+, Deuce McBride and Cameron Payne. I'm going to give them the A, man. The A for outstanding, A for excellence, and continue to roll, man. Continue to roll with these guys. Cameron Payne off the bench provided the energy. He provided the spark. The 3-point shooting was legit. And Deuce in that first quarter lit the Raptors up in transition. Right, let's take a look at their numbers. McBride 5 of 8, Cameron Payne 7 of 10. That's bench scoring 101. 19 points from Cam and 12 points from Deuce McBride, man. They are our version of the Splash Brothers tonight off the New York Knicks bench. And they played healthy minutes. Deuce was 2 of 4 from distance. Payne 4 of 7 as well. But 5 assists from Deuce McBride, fam. Only 1 turnover with 5 assists is excellent. And both were +7 as well. So great team soldiers tonight. Paula gives Brunson a B. Jazzman says Cam's shot looks funny as long as it goes in. He is the ultimate no, yes kind of shooter. But when it's money, man, you could feel the frustration coming from the other team, right? He basically is a backbreaker kind of player for the other team. That pain. Johnny gives Tibbs an A, and Paula gives Tibbs a B. Yep, I understand it. Felix gives Cam an A+ as well. And Buzzer gives Tibbs an A. Won the game, beat the Raptors at their own game. Yeah, I love to see it, guys. I love to see it. What do you think about Jericho not being in the rotation now? Do you think he's a little bit unlucky? I think he'll get his chance again if there's an injury, but Precious coming in, as we talk about him next, 2 of 7, 1 of 2 from distance, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. 5 points from Precious Achua. Very active in the box score, fam. Uh, I think he needs to clean up his looks at the basket. I think Precious can struggle a little bit under the basket with those layups and putbacks. I think he just needs to go up strong and make sure he slams it down. But what he does do great is rebounding and obviously the blocks and the steals. He's a really active defender, and I think ever since getting Precious Achua in that trade, I think he's really had a he's kind of saved his career. I think resurrected his career because in the Raptors he wasn't in the rotation. He's come to the Knicks. He's gained the trust of Tom Thibodeau. He's shown Knicks Nation and what he's capable of doing with his hustle plays, playing up in size in certain matchups as well. He plays with an edge. He plays with passion, and obviously the blocks and the steals are great. But if he can score a little bit as well, that just helps the bench out even more. Fam. Troy says, I love Precious's defense. Lots of energy. Great to see that. I give Tibbs a case of slim fast. Says Shez V. Johnny says Precious makes Sims' presence obsolete. I think right now, yeah, there's only so many guys you can play. I do think Mitch is, obviously the big elephant in the room to come back. I think Mitch, deserves to come straight into the rotation, starting lineup if, they want to go with the dual bigs. Otherwise, he's definitely the first big off the bench when he's healthy, too. And maybe that means Precious can play the power forward, and then Shamet at the 3, Deuce at the 2, Campaign at the 1 as well. Yeah, our depth is starting to look a lot better, fam, right now, right? But I mean, Cat, I've got to be honest, he's exceeded my expectations slightly. Obviously I had big expectations, but they weren't so defensively. I kind of knew what kind of player he was defensively, but offensively, I think it's been better than I expected. The efficiency, I thought he would probably fall in love with the 3-point shot a bit too much. And then I thought he would be maybe a little less efficient. But right now he's showing us a lot of heart. He's showing us a lot of maturity in his play with the passing game. His defense has actually improved as well. So once again, got to give Cat his flowers, right, for being the best Nick of the season, right? Right, coming in on the eve of media day, right, to be the Knicks to be 19-10 after 29 games, for Karl Anthony Towns to be the best Nick of the season so far. I think in the MVP conversation, that's a huge credit to him, right? And definitely, I don't hear anyone really complaining about Cat's season so far. Yeah, Chewy gets the B minus from Buzzer. Nothing bad. I think, yeah, he's just a solid rotation piece that Precious Achua is, and we got him in the trade, which was, pushing that even further in our favor. I think to get a player like him, I would love to re-sign Precious Achua. I think he's really young. I think he can still improve his game. He's only 25, or 24, 25. Still a long ways to go, man. He's younger than RJ, I think, technically, or actually the same age, roughly, as RJ. 9 games over 500 now. We take it, Jazz man. But yeah, these tougher teams and tougher challenges are going to definitely come up. Now, if you missed it, Landry Shamet got in the ball game with 2 minutes remaining. The game was over by then, obviously, but he did get a shot up. First shot as a New York Knick, and it went straight in, fam. So Landry Shamet's been getting really good rhythm with the G League squad as well. With that said, if you missed it as well, the G League squad won the showcase yesterday. Kolek put up 22 points, 11 dimes, and got the MVP award of the final. TJ Warren put up 24 points as well. Chuma Okeke has been playing well, got 11 points. Dadier 11 as well. Moses Brown deserves a shout out, 14 and 16. Fam, did Moses Brown. He's been really active as well. I think the Knicks could be maybe entertaining bringing him in March. He's been really good in the G League as well. So that's interesting that the Knicks have options right now. But the big signing, Landry Shamet, is now with the squad, officially getting his first minutes as a New York Knick tonight. What are your thoughts on the signing overall? I think he's not going to get huge minutes. I think he deserves to be in the rotation, right? But he deserves a quick hook as well, because I do think Dadier, Kolek, can make their case for minutes too. But obviously Tibbs is going to go with the veteran man in Landry Shamet. And what I think he's going to bring, obviously he's going to bring experience, fam. He's played 53 playoff games, which is really good for a team, expecting to go deep in the postseason, right? Just his presence, I think he's another, lights out shooter, another active offensive player, and an active defensive player as well at the point of attack. I think his defense is underrated. I think Landry Shamet is not the biggest wing, obviously, and guard. He's coming in at 6'4", 6'5". But I think that savviness and that experience will be his benefit to the squad. 53 playoff games. And obviously he's going to have a whole lot of games to really, get into a rhythm with us. We're only 29 games into the season. He's back fully healthy. So congrats to him on getting the spot back. Overcoming that rehab, from earlier in the preseason, dislocating the shoulder. Landry Shamet is a welcome addition to the squad for me. Considering he's on a veterans minimum, I don't know if there's many other players out there, that could be a better option for a veterans minimum. Now, he's not going to set the world on fire. My expectations aren't really high, but I think for the need, for extra scoring off our bench and the experience, I think is going to be really good, fam. And I give it a B plus. Johnny gives Shamet returning a solid B signing. Yep. Jazzman, always nice to watch Cat downhill. Excellent getting downhill with Cat. I mean, he's got guard skills, man, in a big man's body. I think arguably the most skilled big man in the NBA right now. Remember, he did win the skills challenge early in his career, back in Minnesota at the All-Star weekend, one of these years as well. And look at that dribble. I mean, there's 6'7", 6'9" guys that can't dribble as tight as Cat as well. The key is he gets the dribble down low, a couple of hard dribbles, so that he doesn't fumble the basketball as well. If you're a young hooper watching, Cat's got really solid hands with the basketball, man. I love how he palms the ball and he basically finds the man assisting, just like Isaiah Hartenstein did. But he's a more talented passer as well. Buzzer Beater says, I think we won the trade with Randall and Cat. Amen to that. Couldn't agree more, man. I think it's obviously really early, but the ceiling is super high for this ball club, with the skill set that Cat brings. And Minnesota lose again tonight. They're struggling. They lose to Atlanta. David says, I like them bringing back Landry Shamet. Good signing. And he's a solid pro. Cat versus Wemby is going to be really interesting to watch. I can't wait. That's going to be great as well. For those that missed it, Joel Embiid got ejected tonight. He went straight into Wemby on the drive, got called for a foul, didn't like it, and then mouthed at the female official and then got tossed. Man, and he was heated. He had to be held back by the assistant coaches. But yeah, Philly's in a world of problems. So is Minnesota. And we're the opposite, fam. We're all the way up as well. Don't forget Kevin McCullough hasn't even suited up once this season, right? Hopefully he can get healthy. But there's a line of players ahead of him with Kolek. Jake Toppin has played really well in the G League lately. I think they're on a 9-game winning streak, Westchester right now. Okeke's played really well with the G League as well. There's options, man. So many options. Dardier, too. I think the Knicks organization is really thriving with these pickups right now, and all that's left to be done is just to keep winning. Bring the consistency, and yeah, the starting five is really starting to feel even more cohesive, right? If there's a chemistry meter or a chemistry rating right now, I'm going to put it at 8. Fam, let me know what you would think in terms of the lineups gelling and the chemistry. Now, I think it's moved to an 8. I think there's still a level or two that it can get to, but right now, 35 team assists. I mean, what more can you say about that? The basketball is moving right now. Multiple players in double digits tonight. 7 players in double digits, including 2 off the bench now. So we don't have to complain about just the starters scoring. Right, quiet night from Brunson as well. We still put up 139, fam. League's number 1, number 2 offense, depending on the day. It's up, it's fluctuating back and forth between us and the Cavs. But 3-point shooting, right, among the best in the league. Defense now up to 13 as well. So some great moves. Johnny says, CT, who is the next Deuce making a leap from the G League into the rotation? That's a great question, man. That's a great question. I don't know if they're going to get the opportunity, and I'm not saying they will, but I think if the minutes were to come, I think Tyler Kolek for me is the most ready. I've been watching him closely. I watched all these G League games. I mean, the man won the MVP yesterday, 22 points, 11 dimes. Came in tonight, super ready. I mean, even in his 1 or 2 minutes tonight, you could see how in sync he was. He basically, almost broke a guy's ankle. I think it was Jacoby Walter was guarding him, did a behind the back dribble. He almost lost him. And I think Kolek coming in, he's a double digit assist man waiting to happen. And the 3-point shooting and the scoring is actually a threat as well. And I think he's 23. So a lot of people forget that. A lot of people think Tyler Kolek is just a rookie. It's going to be a longer course of action. But for Kolek, for me, he's 23. He's ready to go right now. He's ready to go. If he was on another ball club, he'd be in the rotation. He's just going to have to wait his time because, we're a championship level team, and he is a rookie. And we've got some better ball players right now. But I think it's just going to make him better as his career goes. It's going to make him more hungry. And I think he's just going to have to take the longer route, like Deuce McBride. I think, Deuce had to really stay patient playing with the G League and refining his game. And I think if and when TKO gets in that rotation, whenever that happens, he's going to be so ready. I think he's just going to take that chance. And he's going to be, a better TJ McConnell type. I think he's a more well-rounded player. But yes, salute to Johnny for the great question. And Buzzer says, CT, is Shamet our super mid-season pickup? Great question again, man. Something tells me something bigger is going to come. Something bigger. I do think Shamet could be. I think he's a great pickup, and he could be the super mid-season pickup. But I do think something like Leon Rose, looking at what's out there, could be a buyout guy, could be something else. Let's see. I know the question you had earlier about the Knicks having internal discussions over a Jordan Clarkson. I don't think that's imminent. I think that's just the team doing due diligence and just asking the Jazz, hey, what would it take to acquire this guy? So nothing is imminent for that, but it could be a player out in Utah. It could be a Walker Kessler. It could be another player somewhere else. But yeah, if the trade deadline passes and Shamet is our only pickup, our only main addition to the current squad, I think him or Mitchell Robinson getting healthy, I think would be that super mid-season pickup. I think Cameron Payne's exceeded a lot of people's expectations, so he could be looked at as kind of that surprise pickup. But I do think Landry Shamet, once he gets going, I think will be more valuable. Uh, Michael Drake, if you trade Sims, would you call up Moses Brown? What do you think? Definitely. I think if a team really wants to, Jericho Sims in a trade and it helps us get, I don't know, a part of another deal, a wing or some draft capital, I think Jericho Sims, had a really solid season so far, but he is on the final year of his deal, and the Knicks have a couple of young bigs that they have to prioritize as well. And they've got a decision to make. James Nagy is doing well overseas right now for Spain in the Spain league. Moses Brown is there as well. I think the Knicks have options, man. David says, what do you think about these Jordan Clarkson rumors? And I can see pros and cons for such a move. Yeah, so I think the Knicks and Leon Rose will be looking for more veteran help. I think Landry Shamet is one piece of that puzzle. But I do think they're under no illusions. When you want to go deep in the postseason, you need proven playoff performers. You need proven veterans, that can get it done because the pressure goes up. The spotlight goes up. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I can't say how warm those rumors are. I think the Knicks just calling front offices right now saying, hey, what would it take? What would it take theoretically to get this guy? And then they shoot some rumors back and forth, kind of thing. I do think Colin Sexton could be another name, but I do think the Knicks will probably be looking at some bench scoring. There is that concern if Deuce and Payne aren't firing, who's going to bring the scoring off the bench? But yeah, I don't know what salary Clarkson's on, but I definitely wouldn't trade Deuce. I wouldn't trade any major piece. If it was Jericho Sims and one of the backup, one of the other bigs, I think that's the only deal that the Knicks would kind of look at. I can't see them trading any other major piece right now. Yeah, best believe we're going to get that win on Christmas Day, Buzzer. We're going to get it on Christmas Day, and then we're going to enjoy our huge Christmas dinner. And where does TJ Warren fit in all of this? I think TJ Warren is a guy that's probably going to get picked up by a team. The key date to watch, like I said, is March 2nd, confirmed by Bobby Marks. He's done the cap numbers, and officially on March 2nd, early March, the Knicks can add a 15th player on their roster and they don't have to waive anyone, they don't have to cut anyone, they can just simply add a 15th player to their roster. And why is it only March 2nd? It's because by then the salaries will fit under the restriction that they have right now. So that's the key date to look out for. The Knicks could add Moses Brown if they wanted. They could add Matt Ryan. They could add TJ Warren as well. So I think barring any trade, 2-for-1 kind of trade that doesn't free up another spot, I think the Knicks will add, the Knicks roster will stay the same until March 2nd, until they can add that 15th player, fam. For me personally, I mean, TJ Warren looks the part. I think the G League, it's been really good, the run for him. He's showing that he's healthy now. And he's been scoring high volume, 29 points the other night, 27 last night. He looks active. He's only 31. I know he's had a lot of injuries, but he's still not that old as well. So I would definitely look at him as a free kind of pickup. What do you guys think? Yeah, I agree with Michael. I don't think Clarkson's worth 14 million if that is his salary. I would prefer Colin Sexton over Clarkson because Sexton actually plays defense. He can actually play defense on the perimeter. But if we don't do any moves, I think TJ Warren, just add him as the 15th guy, and then you've got some options, man. I'm not even really worried about our big man situation right now. If Mitch is healthy or is not, I think we've got enough. I think Cat, Achua, Sims, Hukpority, Moses Brown, if needed, we can call him up, and Mitchell Robinson, if he's healthy. I don't think we need to swing a deal for um, the backup big in Houston in Charlotte. Nick Richards is the name I was going to think of. Nick Richards. I don't think we need to swing a deal for him. I don't think we need to get a Clint Capella. Walker Kessler, I know, would be ideal. However, Cat's playing so well right now. Right, are you really going to give up major pieces to reshuffle the starting five? I think that's a big question. I think right now we're thriving, man. We're getting our defense up to top 10, and our offense, of course, is number one, number two in the NBA. So don't forget, you're going to mess with that if you do make another lineup adjustment. So that's something key. The pros to just keeping Mitch and rocking with him when he's back is he knows the team. He's familiar with the schemes. He knows what he needs to do for Tom Thibodeau to thrive. I think that's the main thing. You don't have to shuffle some of these pieces too much right now. And I think the Knicks are just starting to look stronger and stronger. And if I had to, put a number on it, I would say 8 out of 10. Our chemistry right now. I think we keep this thing rolling. We see out the new year undefeated from here on out, and I'll move that to a 9. Then, if the Knicks can get to a 7-game winning streak, I'll move our chemistry to 9 out of 10 right now. And I don't know if the front office will want to mess around with that. Wait and see, fam. Another thing to mention is the buyout market. One of the reasons why you might not need to make a trade is the Knicks can add a 15th player in March, like I mentioned. When that comes, there'll be players available on the buyout market. The Knicks might just want to add someone who's available right now. There's players like Markelle Fultz, Dennis Smith Jr., Lonnie Walker might come back from Europe. One of these vets could get cut from any of these teams could get cut, and the Knicks can just sign them for nothing. With that extra spot that they have. So that could be something to really look out for, fam. But we do really are doing a great job with the Westchester Knicks, and these guys, man, setting the table and the environment, fam. Look at these numbers, fam. TJ Warren, 24 points. Kolek, Boo Buie, who is on a 2-way deal right now, has been solid. And obviously Moses Brown, Chuma Okeke, I think has been really solid as well. Don't sleep on Chuma Okeke because the scoring is not there, but he's a defensive, kind of wing with size that the Knicks could do with some perimeter defense. So he provides that. Not as much scoring, but he provides solid perimeter defense at 6'7", 6'8", with a really strong frame. Marcus Morris is still out there, man. Jazzman. This is so many names still out there, fam. Like Buzzer says, Fultz, Lonnie Walker, Dennis Smith, and Marcus Morris. There's heaps of names still out there. Teams, players hoping to jump on a team. But look, we're coming from a position of strength, I think, especially in trade discussions too. Because don't forget, fam, the number one catalyst to a mid-season trade is a team struggling usually that has a glaring need. And the trade partner knows that they have a glaring need. You see, where the Knicks are coming from is if we're negotiating with someone, we're negotiating from a position of leverage. Because if you're 10 games over 500, you're really making a trade because you just, feel like you can upgrade your roster. You're not doing it from a desperation standpoint, if you know what I mean. The Knicks have got players right now. Right, we've got players that can do a job right now. If we do make a deal, it's just simply to try to improve the squad. It's not to, get a cancer out of the locker room, or it's not to, shuffle the decks and change things up too much. It's simply to just, help go to another level. So yeah, outside of a deal for a minor move, a Clarkson Sexton kind of deal, I would put it probably. You never say never, but I'll probably say there's a 30% chance, 20 or 30% chance, no more than that. I don't I don't think a deal for a player that major or that on that level of salary, I think is likely. It could happen, of course, but to get a deal like that done, it would have to involve Mitch, Precious Achua's salary, Jericho Sims, and I definitely don't think they're going to trade a Kolek or a Dadier. And they're definitely not trading a Deuce McBride. You can forget about that. He's not even on a major salary, so it'd be throwing him in a deal would be stupid anyway, from that standpoint, right? Um, but yeah, we really don't need any of those guys right now. Like building block says, I think, yeah, we're building right now. We're growing with chemistry, um, with our squad. But obviously, and we don't want this to happen, but an injury can change things. That's another reason why teams have to make a mid-season deal, is if a key player goes down or a key player gets injured. Right now we're fully healthy, and that's outside of Mitchell Robinson, now that Shamet's back, and that is obviously awesome. That is what you need to compete. You need to stay healthy. Um, but look, I'm not going to lie and say that our depth is, great or excellent. I think, with Shamet now back and Achua playing healthy, I think that's a solid 9-man rotation between Deuce, Payne, Shamet, and Achua. And then you have a couple of fringe players that, can give you minutes when they're ready. They've shown, like a Sims, like a Kolek or a Dardier. Um, Matt Ryan might stick around on a two-way. We don't know. Huck Porty can give you minutes in a pinch. Um, Kevin McCullough remains a wild card. I think he could be a Tibbs kind of favorite if he can get healthy. But I think this kind of season might just be a red shirt, um, for McCullough, because I think he's going to have a lot of catch up to play by the time he can get right. Um, Andre says Clarkson and Precious to the Lakers, Rui and Kessler to the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson and Picks from LA and New York to the Jazz, fam. Look, in theory, I don't know if that's going to work financially, but I do think if there's a key player of the Knicks getting traded, I think that player most likely is Mitchell Robinson. But yeah, I think the Knicks were going to wait to see him return first. I think ideally in January, before making any kind of decisions on that one. Yeah, I don't think we need a Markel Fultz. I think we need a bit more size, perhaps. A Mook Morris, Landry, a TJ Warren, maybe a Chuma Akiki, that kind of player. Lonnie Walker, another wing or a power forward. If they want to get a center that they feel could really help, I wouldn't be against that. I just don't see that as a main priority right now. I think we're pretty decent with the big man situation, with Sims showing that he can be improved, and Huck Porty and Achua obviously backing up Cat. If Mitch, let's say worst case scenario, Mitch just doesn't have it when he gets back, but I think the Knicks will be really patient with Mitchell Robinson. And yeah, the playoffs are going to be a war, Jazz man. I think that's what we're probably looking to see if we can arm up a bit more with some scoring. Johnny says CT is the next dream player to be who is the next dream player to feasibly upgrade the Knicks in terms, if need, Herb or Trey the third. I think Bridges is really stepped up, and I think he's starting to show his capabilities. But I think if there is a player that the Knicks will be looking for, it'd be a defensive kind of wing like a Herb Jones. I think Trey, solid, but the 3-point shooting, we're elite right now. We're one of the best in the league with shooting. So I think just out and out defense. I think Herb Jones, ideally. Buzzer says I would love Mook, but I like to see him in our uniform again. I think minutes would be tough. I think he would definitely be emergency or situational. I don't see him getting in the rotation immediately. I think that's Achua's spot right now. And yeah, Mook Morris has been out of the league for a minute now. It's kind of tougher to come back after being out for so long because perception is really a thing around the league. But yeah, we are a little undersized off the bench with Deuce Shamet and Landry Shamet campaign and Precious Achua. We are going to exert a lot of energy from OG, Hart, and Bridges. So I think if we can ideally get another 6'8" wing, or maybe Pacome Dadier, grows in the G League and shows that he can give us really solid minutes consistently. I think someone of that kind of size, 6'7", 6'9", I think would be perfect. I think for this team right now, and you could maybe have Landry Shamet situational, and you can put that 6'8" wing off the bench too, fam. With that, now let's take a look around the league, right? As we're buzzing out, smashing that like button on the Knicks streets are buzzing, and we've got the big Christmas Day coming up, right? But as I said earlier at the top of the show, we have a situation now where the Celtics went down to the Magic 108, 104, right? And the Knicks are gaining ground on these Celtics, right? Our next opponent, the Spurs, went down to Philly after Joel Embiid got ejected. So that's going to be a challenge where the Spurs are going to be more fired up, right? Cleveland continue winning. The Miami Heat picked up a win. And some former Knicks. And that situation in Minnesota, man, continues to boil over with the Atlanta Hawks picking up a gritty win over the Timberwolves now, who are borderline play-in. They're 10th, 11th right now, the Timberwolves. And they need to pick things up ASAP, man. Julius Randle and Dante garnering a lot of criticism out there. Another situation where the Knicks won the trade so far in the early returns. Some games going on. The Pacers are up over the Warriors right now. And the Lakers are struggling recently as well, fam. The Mavericks getting a big win over the Trailblazers, who I said are going to be a big trade situation to watch. I think they've got 4 bigs. They could be looking to move one of them. They've also got some wings, and they also want a tank as well, fam. It's good to see the Grizzlies pick up a loss from my perspective, because the Knicks have the Grizzlies' second round draft pick in this draft. It's our only pick. And so the further down that the Grizzlies fall, the higher the second round pick is going to be for the New York Knicks. Right now it's in the 50s with the Grizzlies doing so well. If that second round pick can get into the 40s, the Knicks could have maybe a good potential to pick up another draft steal. The Knicks have been picking smartly in the second round recently, picking up Kolek, picking up McCullough and Hukpority. If we can get another second rounder in the second round this year, early 40s, that would be solid. The Knicks might even end up trading that pick at the deadline to make an upgrade. Now the standings right now, as I refresh, the Celtics are now 7 losses. That is huge. The Knicks only 10 losses, so 3 games back of those C's. And why is that key? Because the Knicks could have easily won 3 more ball games, right? So I think with the recent run of the New York Knicks being 14-4 in the last 18 after a slower start, I think we realistically could be in a situation right now where the Knicks have the same record as the Celtics. So that is quite significant, fam, in my opinion, because, the Celtics are still the pace setter. They're still the team to beat for me. And if we sit here and we beat the Pistons, we'd beaten the Bulls, we'd beaten one of the Atlanta games, we'd beaten Utah. Some of these losses that were so, frustrating. The Knicks could have easily been 22-7, fam, and tied with the Celtics after just 30 games. So are we seeing a chink in the Boston's armor? Let us know your thoughts, fam. You know my feelings on the Cleveland Cavaliers. If we played them in a 7-game series right now, I think the Knicks would win. Right? I'm not being disrespectful to Cleveland. I think we have their number in the matchup. I think we played them very early in the season. We weren't even at our best. We weren't even, gelling at that stage, and we still almost won the ball game. Right? I remember Huck Porty had to come on late to play the last 8 minutes, and got his dunk got overruled. Fam, that changed that ball game. But look, yeah, either way, it's going to be fun. Cavs, Celtics, Knicks run into the season, and then obviously you got the Magic now, who are still keeping their heads above water, but no Paolo Banchero and no Franz Wagner. So big credit to them for what they've been able to do still to keep their head above water and be 7 games above 500 still. So they're going to come. They're really going to push once they get everybody healthy. Our biggest rival right now, fam, it's definitely Boston. Definitely Boston still, in my opinion. Stanley says we'll be shocked if the Celtics drop below the Knicks in the standings. Yeah, I don't think that's a realistic possibility. I think the Boston Celtics will continue to win. I just simply feel from a significant standpoint that the Knicks could have very easily been on the same win-loss record. And that sort of says a lot about where we're at, where our chances are at, and where we stack up. Apparently Kevin McCullough is still on the injury report, fam. So he's basically, he's not cleared. He's not cleared. Otherwise, he'll be playing these G League games, fam. So keep an eye out on that. I will keep you up to date with all of that and more, fam, as we celebrated another win. But we've got another one to come, fam, on Christmas Day, as the Knicks take on the San Antonio Spurs with Victor Wembanyama coming into the Garden, as the Knicks could go 20-10 on that night and go 10 out of 10, right, in their last 10. That would be big, fam, as the Knicks are 9-1 in their last 10, fam, as we see, 8-2, sorry, we are 8-2 in the last 10, right, and on a 4-game winning streak. We're gaining ground, fam, but we're still ahead of the Magic, Bucks, Heat, Hawks, Pacers, and the like, fam. Well, I think chemistry is starting to gel even more, and let's continue to roll, fam. Let's keep it buzzing, and many blessings, health, happiness, Merry Christmas to everyone. Obviously, I'll see you on Christmas Day. I will be on a bit later. I know the game is a matinee, so it's going to be super early for me. So I'm going to be on later in the evening, around 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and we'll do a later post game, fam, as we can salute to each other and hopefully talk about a big Knicks win against the Spurs, fam, and be 20-10. Continue the streak, guys. Orange and blue skies. Peace, everyone. Let's get it.